You wake up in the morning, walk to the bathroom mirror, and something stops you. Your face looks different. Your eyes are puffy in a way that sleep alone cannot explain. Your fingers feel stiff and swollen. You press your thumb against your ankle, and the indentation stays there for several long seconds, before slowly returning to normal. Most people would think too much salt last night, or maybe I slept in an odd position, and so they move on with their day. But after watching this video, you will understand why dismissing that morning puffiness could be one of the most dangerous things you ever do. Here is a number that should stop you cold. An estimated 800 million people worldwide are currently living with chronic kidney disease. More than half of them have no idea. The kidneys are uniquely, almost cruelly, silent. They can lose up to 50% of their function before a person feels any different at all. And then, when the damage has reached a point the body can no longer conceal, it sends out a signal. One of the loudest and most visible of those signals is swelling in the face, around the eyes, in the hands, and in the ankles and feet. This video is about that signal. What it means, why it happens, how to tell the difference between harmless bloating and a genuine kidney warning, and what you can do starting today to protect these vital organs. By the time we are done, you will have a clear picture of what your kidneys are trying to tell you, and a practical plan to respond. Let us start with what the kidneys actually do, because most people dramatically underestimate them. You have two kidneys, each roughly the size of your fist, sitting in the back of your abdomen on either side of your spine. Every single day, these two organs filter approximately 200 liters of blood. That is the equivalent of 100 large water bottles, removing waste products, excess minerals, and fluid, and excreting them as urine. But filtering blood is only the beginning. The kidneys also regulate blood pressure through a hormonal system, activate vitamin D to protect your bones, produce a hormone called erythropoietin that tells bone marrow to make red blood cells, and maintain the precise balance of electrolytes, sodium, potassium, phosphorus that every cell in your body depends on. When the kidneys begin to fail, all of these systems begin to fail along with them. The swelling you see in the mirror is just one consequence of a cascade of disruption happening beneath the surface. So why does kidney damage cause swelling? The answer comes down to two mechanisms working simultaneously. The first is water retention. Healthy kidneys continuously adjust how much fluid the body holds by varying how much urine is produced. When kidney function declines, this regulation breaks down, and fluid accumulates in the tissues. The second mechanism involves protein. Damaged kidneys begin to leak protein, particularly albumin, into the urine instead of keeping it in the blood where it belongs. Albumin normally acts like a sponge, holding water inside blood vessels through a process called oncotic pressure. When albumin levels fall, water seeps out of the blood vessels and floods surrounding tissues. The result is visible, often dramatic swelling. Now, what makes kidney-related swelling different from ordinary puffiness? There are 5 key characteristics you need to know. The first is location. Kidney swelling very typically appears in the face, especially around the eyes, in the morning. This is distinct from heart-related swelling, which tends to concentrate in the lower legs and ankles under the influence of gravity. The tissues around the eyes are loose and thin, making them especially vulnerable to fluid accumulation. And because you have been lying down all night, fluid redistributes upward from the legs to the face while you sleep. Waking up to noticeably swollen eyes is a classic early sign of kidney dysfunction. The second characteristic is pitting. Press your thumb firmly against your shin or the top of your foot for 5 seconds, then release. If a visible indentation remains for more than a few seconds, that is called pitting edema, and it strongly suggests genuine fluid accumulation in the tissues, rather than simple fat or inflammation. The third characteristic is rapid unexplained weight gain. In cases of significant fluid retention, body weight can increase by 2 to 5 kilograms, or more in just a few days, with no change in diet. This is not fat gain. It is water being trapped in tissues that cannot drain it efficiently. The fourth characteristic is persistence. Swelling that comes and goes after salty meals or long periods of standing is common and generally harmless. Kidney-related swelling does not resolve with a night of sleep or a day of normal eating. It tends to return every morning, gradually worsening over days, weeks, or months. The fifth characteristic is distribution. In advanced cases of kidney failure, fluid can accumulate in the abdomen, causing visible bloating, or even around the lungs, causing shortness of breath. Swelling that moves beyond the face and legs to include the abdomen, or that is accompanied by difficulty breathing, is a sign of significantly advanced disease, requiring urgent medical attention. Beyond swelling, the kidneys produce a range of other warning signals that most people either ignore or attribute to aging or fatigue. Foamy urine is among the most important. Healthy kidneys do not allow protein to pass into urine. When the filtration barrier is damaged, protein escapes, and protein in urine creates persistent white foam that does not disappear after flushing. If your urine consistently looks bubbly or foamy, treat that as a serious warning. Brown, tea-colored, or pinkish urine may indicate blood in the urine. Changes in urination frequency, going more often, especially at night, or producing notably less urine than usual, are also relevant signals. Extreme fatigue that sleep does not fix is another hallmark. When the kidneys stop making adequate erythropoietin, red blood cell production falls and anemia develops. With fewer red blood cells delivering oxygen to tissues, even simple activities feel exhausting. Itching without a rash, particularly at night, occurs when waste products build up in the blood and are deposited in the skin. Loss of appetite, nausea, and a metallic taste in the mouth signal that uremic toxins, substances that healthy kidneys would remove, are accumulating in the bloodstream and affecting digestion. Difficulty concentrating, brain fog, and in severe cases, confusion, indicate that the nervous system itself is being affected by the rising level of waste products in the blood. If you are experiencing facial or body swelling alongside two or more of these symptoms, please do not wait. A basic blood test, measuring creatinine and calculating your glomerular filtration rate, combined with a urine test checking for protein, will tell you the state of your kidney function clearly and quickly. These tests are inexpensive, widely available, and potentially life-changing. Understanding why the swelling happens is one thing. Knowing what to do about it is another. In this section, we move from explanation to action, covering the dietary strategies, lifestyle changes, and practical steps that genuinely protect kidney function and reduce fluid retention. The single most impactful dietary change for kidney health is sodium reduction. Sodium causes the body to retain water, raises blood pressure, and directly accelerates kidney damage by increasing pressure within the kidney's delicate filtering units, called glomeruli. Most guidelines recommend that people with kidney disease limit sodium to between 1,500 and 2,000 milligrams per day. For context, the average American consumes approximately 3,400 milligrams daily, more than double the recommended ceiling. For people with compromised kidneys, the practical challenge is that sodium hides in places most people do not think to check. Canned soups, bread, condiments, frozen meals, restaurant food, and deli meats are among the highest contributors. The most effective strategy is not just salting food less at the table. It is reading nutrition labels and choosing lower sodium versions of staple products. Cooking from scratch using herbs, spices, garlic, lemon juice, and vinegar for flavor rather than salt makes a remarkable difference in sodium intake without sacrificing taste. Give your palate 2 weeks to adjust, and overly salted food will begin to taste unpleasant rather than satisfying. Protein management for kidney disease requires a nuanced approach. The waste products of protein metabolism, urea, creatinine, and others, must be filtered by the kidneys. When kidney function is reduced, protein breakdown products accumulate faster than they can be cleared. High protein intake also raises pressure within the glomeruli, which accelerates structural kidney damage over time. Most specialists recommend approximately 0.6 to 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. For people with a glomerular filtration rate below 60, at 60 kilograms, that translates to roughly 36 to 48 grams of protein daily. However, there is a critically important exception. Patients on dialysis lose significant amounts of protein during each treatment session, and typically need to increase protein intake substantially. Never adjust your protein intake without specific guidance from your nephrologist and a renal dietitian, who knows your current kidney function levels. Here is one of the most important warnings in this entire video. Foods universally praised as healthy can be dangerous for people with kidney disease. Bananas, avocados, potatoes, tomatoes, spinach, nuts, and legumes are all high in potassium. When kidneys cannot efficiently remove potassium from the blood, levels rise. A condition called hyperkalemia. Even mildly elevated potassium can cause heart palpitations. Severely elevated potassium can trigger fatal cardiac arrhythmias. Foods high in phosphorus, dairy products, nuts, cola drinks, and processed foods containing phosphate additives are equally problematic. Excess phosphorus pulls calcium from bones and deposits it in blood vessels, dramatically increasing cardiovascular risk. A diet designed for the general population is not appropriate for someone with significant kidney dysfunction. Individualized dietary planning with a renal dietitian is not optional. It is essential. There is a useful cooking technique for reducing potassium in vegetables without eliminating them entirely. Chop vegetables finely, soak them in a large volume of water for at least 2 hours. Discard the soaking water and boil them in fresh water before eating. This process, called leaching, can remove between 30 and 70% of the potassium content, allowing for greater dietary variety within a controlled potassium intake. Fluid management is more complex than most people realize. For those with early kidney disease and normal urine output, adequate hydration supports kidney filtration and reduces the risk of kidney stones. But for patients with significant fluid retention, reduced urine output, or advanced kidney failure, excessive fluid intake worsens swelling and can cause fluid to accumulate in the lungs, a dangerous condition called pulmonary edema. Fluid intake must be calibrated individually based on urine output, degree of swelling, and kidney function. This is not a decision to make independently. Always follow your physician's specific recommendation. Movement is medicine for the kidneys. Multiple research programs have shown that regular aerobic exercise slows the progression of chronic kidney disease, lowers blood pressure, improves cardiovascular health, and reduces inflammation, all of which directly benefit kidney function. Moderate intensity exercise is the target. Brisk walking, swimming, cycling, or low impact aerobics performed at a level where you can hold a conversation but feel slightly breathless for at least 30 minutes on most days of the week. Even 15 minutes after meals has a measurable effect on blood pressure and blood sugar control. One particularly valuable and underappreciated benefit of walking for kidney patients involves swelling directly. When leg muscles contract and relax rhythmically during walking, they act as a pump, pushing fluid accumulated in the tissue spaces back into the lymphatic and venous circulation, combined with elevating the legs above heart level. For 15 to 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times daily, regular walking can produce a meaningful reduction in lower limb swelling without any medication. Avoid high-intensity exercise. Intense effort transiently raises creatinine levels in the blood and can temporarily worsen proteinuria. Marathon running, heavy weightlifting, and similar high-intensity activities are not appropriate for people with significant kidney disease. Start conservatively, monitor how you feel, and progress gradually. Here is your 7-day kidney protection plan. On day 1, measure and record your morning body weight. Note any visible swelling in your face or ankles, and make an appointment for a kidney function blood and urine test if you have not had one in the past year. On day 2, audit your sodium. Read the labels of every packaged food in your kitchen. Identify your 3 highest sodium staples and find lower sodium alternatives. On day 3, change how you cook one meal. Replace salt entirely with garlic, lemon, herbs, and black pepper. Note whether you can taste the difference. On day 4, take a 20-minute brisk walk after dinner and elevate your legs for 15 minutes before bed. On day 5, reduce your protein portion at dinner by 1/3 and replace it with a kidney-friendly vegetable, such as cabbage, cauliflower, or red bell pepper. On day 6, focus on sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. And notice how your energy, appetite, and facial puffiness differ. The following morning. On day 7, compare your morning weight to day 1, assess your swelling. And reflect on which changes felt sustainable. 3 foods deserve special mention for people managing kidney health. Cabbage is low in potassium and phosphorus, while providing vitamin C, vitamin K, and anti-inflammatory compounds including sulforaphane, which has shown protective effects on kidney cells in research. Egg whites provide high-quality, complete protein with minimal phosphorus and potassium, making them an ideal protein source when protein intake must be limited. But nutritional quality must be maintained. Red bell pepper is relatively low in potassium, compared to many vegetables, and rich in vitamins A and C along with lycopene, a potent antioxidant associated with reduced oxidative stress in kidney tissue. One final and crucial caution: certain substances cause kidney damage and must be avoided by anyone concerned about kidney health. Over-the-counter nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, ibuprofen, naproxen, and similar medications reduce blood flow to the kidneys and can cause acute kidney injury with prolonged or high-dose use. They are particularly dangerous for people with existing kidney disease. Contrast dye used in CT scans can cause contrast-induced nephropathy, especially in those with reduced kidney function. Always inform your doctor of your kidney function status before any imaging procedure. Some herbal supplements and traditional medicines contain compounds that are directly toxic to kidney tissue. Never take a supplement without checking its safety. For kidney patients with your physician, kidney disease is not a sentence. It is a signal. The body is telling you that something needs to change, and in many cases, the right changes can preserve kidney function for years or even decades, beyond what would happen without intervention. Swelling in your face and hands on a Tuesday morning is not just Tuesday morning puffiness. It is your kidneys asking for help. Today is the day to start giving it to them. If this video gave you something valuable, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment telling us what surprised you most, or what question you still have. Subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss a health update that could matter this much. Your kidneys work every single day for you. Today, do something for them.